If you're just tuning in with us, we are currently being mentored by multi-millionaire mentor Kurt Davis. He is a real estate guru. He's going to teach us how to make $10,000 to $30,000 in wholesale deals starting with no money, and we're going to try to do it in 1 week. So remember, if you've been staying tuned with us, we're also doing a challenge where we're trying to get mansion tours and charging between $500 to $1,000. So that is a separate basket. Remember, don't keep all your eggs in one basket. So we got 2 baskets now. We got the wholesale basket with the mentorship, and we got the mansion tour basket. So we're going to be doing both. And the great thing about the wholesale deal being mentored by Kurt is once we do that, then we'll have some capital to play with to where we can buy our own investment property or start looking for a big apartment complex we can do a BRRRR deal on. A BRRRR deal is a BRRR deal, not bird, BRRRR. So BRRRR stands for buy the property, you rehab it or renovate it, then you rent it out, and then you do what's called a refinance, where you pull out the money and get a traditional loan on it. Final step is repeat. You can do that over and over and over. And that's the strategy to get into real estate income properties for little to no money. So we'll have Kurt explain that more in future videos. Or if you want to check out his stuff, we'll put a link to his website in our description. Feel free to check that out. So, how I feel about this. We found a real estate mentor. First person we called, he was willing to work with us. Why are you honking, guy? The Department of Veteran Affairs minivan was honking at someone. Weird person to be honking at. Back to what we were saying. We were working on taking out ums, so's, and my videographer's working on whatchacall out of our vocabulary to sound more professional, to sound more intelligent. When we have a break in words, the words become more effective. Pause rather than saying ums makes you sound more intelligent, and it sounds like your words have more emphasis. Back to what we were talking about, emotional state. I'm feeling really positive about this journey. We found a real estate mentor. He's gonna teach us how to do wholesale deals, BRRRR deals. We might even partner on a giant apartment complex eventually. And he is interested in our social media management company. So we're playing many verticals. The mansion tours we're developing, of our personal coaching business we do. We have the social media management. Now we're getting into real estate. We want to maximize income potential, especially passive income. And we want to make sure we don't do too many things that we lose the main vision. Remember, what's the main vision? To maximize our health, our wealth, and our happiness. Manifest success. That's what we're going to do. We're going to be very clear on this. And every day we have to take massive action towards that direction. And if we're having trouble taking massive action, what do? Minimum 10 to 30 minutes per day per subject. So call a loved one, some type of outreach for real estate, intermittent fast, we're doing that, eating healthy. Excellent. That is the journey we are on. Hopefully you're seeing better and better quality with these videos, and you're seeing improved mindset from us. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Some people get nervous when they're doing something new, right? If they're doing sales for the first time, they're door knocking, if they're doing cold calling, or even if they're just, starting a new aspect of their business. You can get nervous. It's okay. I get nervous too, personally. It happens. What you do is you do a quick breathing exercise, a quick meditation, and then you recognize that, hey, we're all going to die, and in a few generations, no one's going to remember who we are anyways. Even if we're the most impactful person in the world, 1,000 generations from now, no one's going to remember us. Do you remember all the great leaders from ancient Egypt? No. It's a completely different civilization that happened so long ago, we can't even fathom it. So if you have that mindset going in that nothing really matters, why don't you just maximize your fun time, do something positive, help others, be kind, be loving, because everybody's just a self-reflection of yourself. And once you recognize that everyone is just you reflected back at you, there's no reason to be nervous. Whether you're trying to go on dates or you're trying to get new clients, everyone is just a self-reflection of you, right? So treat yourself how you'd like to be treated, because that's what you're doing. With the mansion tours we're doing, we set a challenge. We're gonna try to land $10,000 worth of clients in 1 day, or the equivalent of 20 mansion tours for $500. How we're gonna do this is, first, we're gonna email 100 people. The next day, we're gonna text those same 100 people and respond to anyone who responds, obviously. And then the third step is we're gonna cold call So it's a three-prong approach. We start off with the email with a link to our promo video. Did you finish that promo video? We're heading over to Kurt's office and we're gonna get some real estate mentorship and see a day in the life of a real estate investor. Come with us. He's got his own ATM machine. Hey Kurt.
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Good. You know, I'm trying to handle this MLG&W. MLG&W is the worst. All right, so one of the things that's very frustrating as a real estate investor is when we do fix and flips, we have to get the utilities turned on in our name. I don't know how it is for other states and things like that, but here in Memphis, we have one utility provider, and it's very, very difficult to get a hold of them. I went online through their web chat. It said that my estimated wait time was 12 minutes, but 12 minutes turns into like an hour and 10 minutes. So, I mean, thankfully I had the time to wait to do that, but a lot of people do not. Getting utilities turned on in your name is an absolute nightmare. We used to try to call on the phone, but it's like, now I'm sitting holding my phone forever, or I mean, it's just not realistic to just wait on your phone for an hour. Yeah. And it usually doesn't take that long, but I just found the web chat. It's more convenient for me to get here, get on, and do this, and knock out other things. So as soon as this is done, we can blitz out of here.
All right. Here is a map of our local area, and we're gonna find wholesale deals and bird deals to capitalize on, so we can create some active income and passive income. Remember, active income is the thing where you have to trade your time for money, and passive income is the thing you set up where it then pays you while you sleep. So we're gonna be learning this from real estate investor Kurt Davis. And if you want to check out his courses, he teaches you how to become a real estate investor. You can check out the link in the description and learn directly from Kurt. And learn a day in the life of a real estate investor. We're gonna follow him as he walks through his properties, as he does some setup for his next rental investment. And then we're gonna learn how to do what's called wholesaling, where basically we're the middleman and we find a motivated seller, someone who's retiring or, you know, maybe getting a divorce or mismanaging the property, and they're motivated to get out of the property as quickly as possible. So we're gonna offer them a great deal for an all cash offer. Now, we don't have to personally have the cash. What we do is we find a great deal, make sure the numbers work, offer them a cash offer, and then we find a cash buyer, a real estate investor, who wants a great deal but doesn't have the time to find all of these motivated sellers. So then we say, hey, cash buyer, we have this great deal for you. It's all cash. This is how much it is. And then that cash buyer says, okay, great, let's do it. And then we add a little 10 to 30K range, a buffer zone, make sure it's still a great deal for both parties. And then that's how we profit $10,000 to $30,000 off of one deal, one wholesale deal. So if you're just getting started in real estate investing and you have no capital, this is how you do it. And Kurt is gonna show us how to do this in less than a week, starting with no money. You can do it too. If you like real estate, you're probably aware of Grant Cardone, and he has this phrase, who has my money? So basically, he's always looking for deals where everybody can create win-win situations. And he's always asking, who has my money? Where can I find it? Where are the deals? What are the numbers? Can I get good numbers? And who are the investors? And those are the only three factors you need to have success. And then you can do more advanced strategies like BRRRR deals, where you find a mismanaged property, and instead of giving it off to a cash buyer, you then take on the property and fund the entire mortgage payment plus a little bit of profit each month from your tenant. And if you want to be really advanced, do that with a big apartment complex. Let's talk about maybe 100 units, maybe more. Think about it. You average $100 to $300 in profit per month unit. So if you want to make $100,000 a month, how many units do you need? Let me know in the comments below. The least risky method in real estate is wholesaling because it requires nothing out of pocket other than your time. So all you have to do is get a house under contract and then find a cash buyer. You might have to have some earnest money down, but that can be a very small amount of money. So that's probably the least risky way of getting started. And the most risky way is sinking all of your funds into something where you have no idea about the numbers, know nothing about it, don't have a mentor, and that's how you lose all your money. It's the same thing with the stock market. If you don't know how it works, if you don't have a mentor who succeeded in the past, you can just lose everything. That's happened to countless people. So make sure you get a mentor, especially in real estate. Get Kurt Davis. He offers courses and coaching to teach you how to be a real estate investor. Even if you have no money, or if you have a lot of money, you just don't have to dedicate as much time. You can get a turnkey investment property. He has a huge portfolio of turnkey investment properties he can offer you. So check out that link in the description. All right, we're about to tour a property. We can learn more about the journey it takes to become a multimillionaire in real estate. So you can too.
Like I said, sometimes it's very easy to find people, and sometimes it's a little bit more, oh yeah. If I was the pig, I'd go to...
We can try the next address.
Yeah, sorry.
If this one's too difficult.
I'm getting all hung up here.
Okay.
Like I said, most of the people that I work with are out-of-state investors, and statistically what I have found is that after they buy a house, not just from me, but like from other people in general, if they do come here, it's going to be on average 12 to 18 months statistically before they come and make their first visit to Memphis. Now, I just sold... That's perfect. You want to go on that side? Look around, everything looks fine, but then when you start looking a little bit closer, you're just like, come on, guys, we can do
From the tenant's perspective, they probably wouldn't notice much of it, but since you're the one in the deal, making sure the investor makes money and making sure the tenant's comfortable, you see all the nitty-gritty details.
Yeah, and then when we turn the house over to the management company, they send somebody out to kind of do like their own little walkthrough to see if there's anything that they think needs to get done. And you would think that they were like a contractor project manager. I get these lists that are, it's like whatever.
We're gonna find deals that we can wholesale. And remember, wholesaling is just us being the middleman. We get a motivated seller under contract and find a cash buyer and make a little bit of profit. Our goal is 10 to 30K in the next week. So we're gonna have to be doing a lot of driving to find some good deals. So now we're gonna follow Kurt and see what advice he has for picking out the properties.
Those steps are really funky.
So how often do you have to tour properties like this?
Let's see. I probably will come to this house total start to finish from even the very first time I looked at it until it's completed. I'll probably come here somewhere around 10 times or less. I try to come less if possible. Part of it is just, like I said, working with good contractors who know what you expect. Like these colors that you see here, like the interior color, all the same. It's cookie cutter. I use the same stuff on all of my houses.
So be consistent so you don't have any things.
Correct, because it's generally going to look good. I'm not trying to make this the best house in the neighborhood, but I certainly want it to kind of stand out. I also want it so that when prospective tenants come in, and not just tenants but also the people that I sell these houses to, they want to see a house that looks great, it's fresh. Like the color of this house before it was painted, I didn't necessarily need to paint it, but I felt painting it would just kind of give it that additional pop. So it's
what's the cost of painting an exterior of this house?
$5,000.
So it's worth it just for the extra pop factor.
Yes, like I said, I didn't have to do it, but I want the house to be attractive. I want it to have that good curb appeal. I want it to look good in photos for the investors. It's got to look good for marketing for the management company.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a lot of it's perception. You want things to look good.
So you can apply this same technique of consistency with the multifamily units, right?
Correct.
You could have everyone with the gray and white and the vinyl plank flooring so you don't have to replace carpet.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Find our first deal we found. That's why we were getting 10 to 30 deals potentially. And we're on truepeoplesearch.com backtracking to find their phone numbers so we can get in contact with them. Remember, we're creating win-win situations. So if they have a derelict property, that means they're not making any money from it. So what we're offering is to buy it cash, and then that way they can get rid of the property, and we can then find a cash buyer who wants to turn it into a rental property. We make a little commission off the top, 10 to 30,000. So that's how you get into wholesale with no money. We just drove for dollars. We found some properties, and now we're backtracking them through TruePeopleSearch.com, and you can too.
Okay, so let me show you this real quick, just I'll show you what it asks for. So when you come here, all it wants is city, state, or zip. Oh, here we go. See, look at that current. We found it. So this is the house, that one on Avalon we drove by. And
so it last sold for $9,500.
Yeah, so now here's the catch. Even though it's registered that she may potentially live here, that doesn't necessarily mean she actually lives there. It just depends on how things were handled on her closing. So like she could live there and she may not live there.
So for anyone just starting out, we're leveraging a real estate agent website. So if you're not a real estate agent, become friends with one, tell them what you're doing, and give them a little percentage when you sell the wholesale deal. That way you can still be no money out of pocket.
So yeah, so essentially what would happen here on this now is it's like we found, using True People Search, obviously we were able to find this person here, and it does confirm that this is the address where they are supposed to be living at. So what I like to do a lot of times is I try to look at the house to see what similar houses like this are going for in the area.
So we should add to the course that once you find these addresses, if you're having trouble finding the people, you reach out to local real estate agents and offer a deal if they can find the metadata for you. Wow, so we went from $10,000 to $147,000.
Let's see.
That's the power of real estate.
Got that one right there.
You can 10x your money.
Obviously this is a lot of homeowners buying in here. So like Garland, now Garland was a 3-2 around the corner. It sold for almost $190, but then here's one that somebody bought for a 4-2. They're probably going to flip it considering they bought it for 95 grand. So it's like values are pretty decent over here, but there's a gap. It's like you've got one that sold for 147, one that sold for almost 190, and you got one that went for 95,000. So you've got, like this one here, that person probably, I think I know that guy who bought it. I think that person's going to flip that house is what they're going to do. So on this one, it just depends on what, if they're even interested in selling it for, what would they sell it for, and obviously you'd have to get inside if they are interested to see what kind of work it needs.
Right. So our strategy moving forward for the next 2 days is get a list of 10 to 30 people, and then we find a real estate agent friend who can get all the metadata, and then we start cold calling them based on the scripts in the course.
Yes.
Okay.
And then,
so we're set for this week of action items.
Fine.
Excellent. And so we're going to try to get 10 to 30 in the next couple of days, and then we're going to cold call all of them and land 1 or 2 deals at minimum.